as a medium has changed so much over the years. So much so that you could identify when a Vocaloid song was made just by listening to the song style, or even more telling than that, seeing the artwork that's associated with it. Which is surprising given that it's really the only kind of music that changes this rapidly. At least from what I know about music, which is limited to Vocaloid, J-pop, and J-rock, and all that junk. And the era of Vocaloid artworks that we're now exiting, the era of a singular image of a girl with a flat colored background, was not my personal favorite. Though it's still absolutely close to my heart, as all Vocaloid is, and because I love the quality of the artwork and how iconic these images can become. I mean, you see these images and you're like, oh yeah, that's the song. As someone whose favorite Vocaloid songs are ones that have dynamic MVs, bonus points if they feature vocal synth character cameos, I left this recent era feeling a little understimulated. By the way, when I mention this as an era, I need to make it clear that songs like this have always existed, it just became a major trend. Understimulated because when you're only given a singular image to run with, there's not too much to do with your imagination. For some, that isn't an issue at all, because a song is already an unimaginably vast form of art, in my opinion, the most vast. But it makes me so much more passionate towards a song when the world behind it is put on display. It's also why I feel like something like Sekai's commissioned songs do so well. While they don't have story-driven MVs, they have in-game stories behind them. And those stories add a ton more weight to the melodies and the lyrics. It's a show of how well additions to music can uplift it. And visuals are hands down the most important addition of them all. But the thing is, MVs are not easy to make. If you have this misconception, throw it out of your head right this instant. They can take weeks or even months to create. Plus, if you're the person who produced the song and not an artist, these MVs can be rightfully, for the level of effort they take, expensive as hell. So Vocaloid going through that whole flat image era makes a lot of sense. Like, a lot of sense. Although that still doesn't make the boredom from that understimulating lack of interesting MVs any lesser. So I'm so glad to finally be moving on from this. So let's see what we get. Oh, a song featuring Miku and Teto. How cute. I love Teto getting more recognition. Seems to be pretty popular too. Oh, another one. Hey, this is adorable. Similar style and everything. Oh, one more. Cute. Okay. Hey, there's another one. And another one. And another one. And another one. And another one? Hey, is this really all we're gonna get now? This, my dear Voca fan friends, is what a few others have coined as the Mesmerizer Effect. Every big song you see's got Miku and Teto center stage, and it's likely got this art style to boot. And even if it isn't a song, you're probably still gonna see it on your timeline or your For You page or your shorts feed or whatever. Miku, Teto, and this art style. It's called the Mesmerizer Effect because obviously it started with Mesmerizer. The simplistic yet Easter egg filled poppy animation stuck in people's minds so hard that the style absolutely destroyed the internet. People everywhere saw it, and whether it was a result of people being excited by the power of Mesmerizer and wanting to put that excitement into their own art, people wanting to have some of that Mesmerizer cake and wanting it badly, if you know what I mean, financially, or in terms of just social media numbers, or just being that the faces of Vocaloid in general are Miku and Teto now because, you know, they're so popular, this became the new big thing. The new trend of Vocaloid, Miku, Teto, and tweening on a cute art style. So why is it a problem anyway? What's the big deal about this? Well, I'm of two views, two contrasting ones. Also, quick disclaimer that everything I'm going to talk about right now is all my opinion. Firstly, I take issue with this trend after nearly a year of it because, well, I'm not a huge fan of repetition. While I do enjoy the little motifs associated with Vocaloid, like Miku loving leeks, these things are better in moderation. If every single popular song made with her featured her holding a leek throughout the entire thing for pretty much no reason, I'd get pretty bored of seeing her with that damn leek. That's how I feel about the repeated use of this art style over and over and over again. It's really cute and insanely iconic, but oh my god, it's everywhere. And with a medium as varied as Vocaloid usually is, with a ton of different artists and a ton of different art styles, it's kind of straining on me to see this overuse. Granted, all of these songs and the way they utilize their artworks are not exactly the same, but you'd have to be blind not to be able to tell that they're following a trend. So to me, this is an issue just because when everything starts to look really similar, it just bores you. And another thing, it's always just Miku and Teto. We haven't been seeing too much of anyone else, and when we do, it's like, oh, breath of fresh air. For that, I have a more mixed feeling. It's not all negative, but there is still concern. Back in the day, Miku and Teto used to be a really special duo. The girl who wanted to be a Vocaloid more than anything, and the girl who had it all. And when Teto Synth V came out, this dynamic actually got so much more interesting. Getting to see Teto finally be on the same level as Miku was so amazing, and seeing those little Miku jealousy talkloids was so adorable. With that background to their dynamic, it makes their popularity seem so earned. They're cute, I love it. But that dynamic that made them so iconic before, though they were underused, has been sort of dampened. I may be literally the only person on earth who feels this way, and if you disagree, I can see why. Not everyone has the same perception as me, but to me, it kind of diminishes the spice of Miku and Teto's initial dynamic to have them destroy the internet when their songs don't really display their quote-unquote personalities well. Not a single artist has to make a song where two Vocaloids are showing a ton of personality. That doesn't matter. Making a song is already a gift enough to the Vocaloid community, and we shouldn't expect anything we personally view as creative out of any individual creator, because their art is their art. But what made Vocaloid so fun to me back in the day was seeing the creators' perceptions of what these characters' personalities were like, despite them not actually having any personality. Vocaloid having no canon means no artist is limited to displaying a character in any specific way. That means we would get a huge pool of interpretations to have fun with in the medium. But now most of these songs don't show that too much. Again, no individual artist owes us anything, but I would love to see more Vocaloid songs, let's say in the style of Yari's works using Miku and Teto. Songs that give them fun personalities and explore them within the lyrics and MV. Miku and Teto are certainly not short of potential on this front. This is the girl who waited years to get her big break, and also she's 31 and she's finally got it. And this is literally Miku. And while I feel like the popular songs since Mesmerizer do touch on a little bit of their personalities and their fun motifs, like again, Teto being 31, I had to mention it twice, haha, there could be so much more here. Like, we're just grazing the surface. It's like French fries that need more salt but already have enough pepper. They're still fries and they've got pepper, so they're awesome and I'm gonna eat them, but I want some more salt in there. The fun type of songs I miss from the old days and the poppy, trendy songs of today coming together in a beautiful French fry meal. Does this analogy make sense, or am I going insane? Basically, what I'm saying is, while Miku and Teto are finally on the same level after years of Teto being in Utawu, and she's getting rewarded handsomely for her patience, it doesn't feel special, because these songs aren't really using her so much as a character, so much as just another singer. Which is fine, because again, we aren't owed anything, and this is still great for Teto, but when that's all you're getting, I still don't feel the flair that I once did with their dynamic. Also, the visual of Miku and Teto, though very strong, when repeating over and over again, can still get pretty stale. Just my eyes are seeing the same two things in combination over and over again. So that's all my first view. I mentioned earlier that I'm of two views on the Mesmerizer Effect, not just one. And if my first issue was disliking repetition, then what's my second issue? Well, it isn't an issue at all. I actually kind of like the Mesmerizer Effect. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned the era of Vocaloid that we're currently leaving, which is the era of one image, flat colored background anime girl. And let me tell you, the Mesmerizer Effect is without a doubt one of the grandest steps up we could have taken in terms of a trend. Think about it. We went from one stagnant image to fast-moving, energetic, and way more varied. Even if we're getting some similar artwork and animation styles along with the overuse of two characters, we're getting MVs with more depth. That is really, really good. No, we're not in the story-driven MV era anymore, but these MVs are still so cool. They move so interestingly, they're high quality, they match the songs extremely well when you connect the literal sounds you're hearing to the sights you're seeing, and so much more. They've made me feel so many emotions compared to the flat images, because don't get me wrong, I can still listen to a good song while staring at the classic Vocaloid character PNG and still get chills, but the visuals of these new ones amplify that to a whole nother degree. My favorite example of this, which a lot of you may know, is Odo China. If you haven't seen this MV, please God, do yourself a favor and watch it. Whether it's something as simple as having the scenes on screen get more serious as the instrumental does, or the transitions matching up perfectly with the music, or Haku is there, Haku, guys, it's Haku, I love Haku! This makes me feel so much more than any flat image ever could. And that's not to dog on paintings or other solely visual arts. It's just that music and visuals are like a couple where each of them get motivated by the other's presence. They have intense crushes on each other even though they've been together for years. They may not need each other to exist, but they thrive together. And also, despite my wishes for more within their dynamic, Miku and Teto are a super cute duo visually alone. They've been overused, but they're overused because their image together is so powerful. We don't need Miku and Teto to have strong personalities in a song to be able to enjoy their appeal on a base level, because look at them! While I still want more fun for their personalities, you can't deny the power that they already have together, even without the salt on the metaphorical fries. I mentioned that all the fries at least have pepper, and yeah, that's the pepper, their irreplaceable base appeal. Also, we're getting a resurgence of more characters showing up in MVs. I already talked about how much I love this in my Confessions of a Rotten Girl video. It's like my favorite thing in the Vocaloid, so without having to go on about it again, just know I'm extremely happy it's coming back. And I say it's because of Teto because right after after her, the runners-up for being shown on screen aren't other Utaoloids, but are instead the Fanloids, and the Fanloids include Haku! So there are definitely benefits to the Mesmerizer Effect, especially after the era we're exiting. Now, is the Mesmerizer Effect the most original thing in the world? No, obviously not, but again, we aren't owed originality. Plus, trends will just always exist. They always have within Vocaloid or any genre. It can leave things feeling stale, sure, but this stuff is still really cool and has so many merits. And even if this shift was even staler, Vocaloid is too wide a concept to even be considered a genre. Like, while trends in, let's say, Western pop can be even more fatiguing, the Mesmerizer Effect as a trend does not have to represent Vocaloid as a whole if you really hate it. Vocaloid will always be more than the trends that define it because there are so many artists out there. Sure, figures like DECO dominate the scene, but Vocaloid producers are on far more equal footing than pop stars are. So with a fast-changing scene and so much content, Vocaloid is so much more than its trends if you scrape past the surface. And again, if anything, this trend is cute. While the stuff I mentioned when describing how I see it negatively are still true to me, the stuff I mentioned when describing how I see it positively are true too. It's all about looking on the bright side with these kind of things because it's art. You're free to perceive it however you like, so I think why not try to perceive it as positively as possible? Art is free, so be naive. Before I end off this video, I want to mention two extremely important things, especially surrounding trends in Vocaloid and the way people discuss them. One, it's important not to label the entire Vocaloid community as stale because of something like the Mesmerizer Effect. This goes for any trend like the flat images too. While these things are popular, again, Vocaloid is far too vast for it to ever come close to fitting into one box. Trends are impossible to go without seeing, but you know what is possible to not see? The exact kind of art you're probably looking for, which is out there. So you can't just say that all of Vocaloid is stuck in the Mesmerizer Effect or that all Vocaloid is washed now, because so many songs are being created every minute and they're definitely not all the same. And there could be one that's likely the exact kind of song you would be undyingly passionate about. But you can't find that song if you've assumed Vocaloid is trendy and given up first thing. For example, literally the other day, I discovered a super fun song about the whole "you're telling me a shrimp fried this rice" meme featuring Miku, Gumi, and Micah after years, thank you, I love her, created by MM2X2. It's so funny and cute and uses the Vocaloids as characters instead of just singers. It was right up my alley. Also, it has Miku speaking Arabic. That's not something you see every day. Links in the description, so go check it out. While songs like this can be drowned out in the noise, it's important to not let the noise distract you from the fact that those songs are out there, so don't give up. Anyone can make anything, and that will never end. Two, something I feel very, very strongly about. I really dislike that after an artist makes something, it often just is never revisited. It would be unrealistic to want old art pieces to blow up over and over again, but I feel like we should always remember them. And not just thinking about that song we liked a long time ago, actually going back, rewatching the MVs, listening to the songs, and just spending time in those worlds. If we think of Vocaloid not in terms of what's new or trendy, but instead in a way that's just getting more and more added on top of it, treating the old with the same passion as the new, the medium is finally seen for as grand as it really is. Despite the passage of time, old artworks still exist, and they still have the same value they did before. If you find an old Vocaloid song that you haven't heard in a long time or haven't heard at all, please listen to it. Just because it isn't new doesn't mean it can't make you feel like crazy. And let me promise you, it will. While I was writing this script, I got majorly distracted because I decided to take a short break and watch one MV from Project Diva. Let's say I didn't watch only one, I watched like, what, 20 of them? And I sat there shaking in neurodivergent euphoria because, oh my god, it's awesome! All of these songs have so many worlds to get lost in, and no matter how long ago they were made, they still define my life to this day. We don't realize the power of rewatching when we get so lost in trends and social media and what's new and everything like that. So what I'm trying to say is, re-listen to Teto Territory, rekindle your love for the Kagerou project, watch the reboot MV for crying out loud! Because those artworks are still out there. The effort, the love, and the hearts of these creators are all constantly available for you to dive into. There's so much more waiting for you, regardless of when the artist created it, whether it follows a trend, or how everyone perceives it. Thanks for watching! I had the idea for this video a few weeks ago and really wanted to give my take since all I've really seen is one side of people who feel negatively about the Mesmerizer Effect. Again, my feelings aren't on sunshine and rainbows either, and those people definitely have good points to make. Their views are completely valid. But as Although China Enjoyer 5000, I feel like it would be nice to bring up the, hey, there's some nice things here. Also propaganda to get you to watch Project Diva MVs, which hopefully I can make my video on soon after I promised it almost a year ago. This semester is killing me. Hopefully I can get it done once I'm on break. God, please let me be on break. This 1 weekend to grind out a video thing is not working for me as well as I thought it would. Make sure to plan out relaxation time in your day, kids. You're not a robot, and if you treat yourself like one, you will crash. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to keep living because that's the only way things can get better. Bye bye! Hasta la vista, baby!